Hey, it's Benny. Today we're talking about the roll and write revolution game Park Deco. This is a game about unparking cars and scoring points for them, but also completing objectives towards getting more dice, also completing a color grid, which gets you points and more cars, and then also a number grid, which gets you some abilities to use, some point modifiers, and then also some bonus points for the end of the game. So this is a game that plays over either 24 or 36 rounds. So 24 being our short game, that'll be 1, 2 of the scorecards. Or if you played the long game, you would play 36 rounds, which includes the coffee stained scorecard. So every round you're going to, if you can, fill in a car or two. That's why there's two spaces. You're going to fill in the value of the car that you moved. So the value is the number on the car. If the color matched the car, you'll fill in the car color. And then you can fill in the points. Cars are worth 1 point at base. They're worth 3 points if they match color. And then they could be worth up to 6 points with this 2 times modifier. So you have to keep track of if the value matches here and you got the modifier, then you can score double points. This is a game of what we would consider a bag building game. You have a pool of dice that you gradually add to the bag when you complete the objectives over here for each die. And so these are not necessary for playing the game, but they are kind of a fun addition. We created some tokens that you can use. These are 30 millimeter coin holders. You can cut out and use these as your reminders for when you do add these dice to the dice bag. You just flip these over. This is really more for multiplayer play rather than solo play. Solo play, you're going to be able to look in the dice, look in the bag and see the dice. In multiplayer play, this is a really good reminder that, oh yeah, I've completed the green, so therefore I'm going to score green when I move a green car, such as this one right here. So the way this game is going to work, this is a draw 2 dice from the bag, and you start with just 2 white dice in the bag. And then there are 5 other colors, which you can add when you complete the objectives, of course. So each one of these wheels on the dice has 7 slots. So it's something you can fill in a couple of turns. So the way this game works to start with, we put the colorful dice in the bag. Everybody draws 1, rolls it. So this is actually going to differentiate the boards to start with. So for me, I have a 4, so I'm going to circle this space right here. So this space is going to let me fudge a dice plus or minus 1. The arrow wheel ability lets you set a dice to any value. And then, of course, yellow being yellow. I can mark out any of these 3 yellow spaces. I'm going to go ahead and draw an X through this so I can at least remember that, oh yeah, this is a yellow. And of course, we did try to go for color blind friendly here. Each of the colors has a specific shape, as you can see from the coins, as you can see from the color grid, as you can see from the cars. Each of the cars have the shapes that correspond to those colors. Okay. So that's our first thing, since we're playing solo. Solo and multiplayer play the same way in this game. You're shooting for the most number of points, most parking points, in fact. So you've been hired by the Park Deco parking company, who is really drastically screwed up and has parked way too many cars in their parking lot, and their valet has quit. So now it's up to you to try to get these cars back out of the parking lot. So you're going to use dice values to move the cars. There are 4 spots where you can move cars from to the north, south, east, and west. You'll see the arrows there. Once you've moved those specific cars, the cars next to them, you kind of see the cars have a little bit of a hood. That's the direction they move out. They don't ever back out. They pull out. So once this is moved, then any cars that have the front open or have either of the sides open will then be able to move. Okay, so remember, cars don't back out. But so when I move this one, now I have access to 1, 2, 3 cars, because this one is the back. Well, it'd be the side, so 4 cars. There you go. So you have access to 4 cars once you move that one. So we are going to be adding dice to the bag until we gain more dice. We actually end up rolling just the 2. So those will be my 2 dice for the turn. In solo play, you have to move a car every turn, or you draw a line through that round marker. if possible. I mean, there's some times where you're not going to, and that's fine. But in multiplayer play, really the key thing here is to remember that you have completed, if you've completed it, go ahead and circle your dice here or flip your token to the other side. And then that die will get added to the bag for all players. However, only players that have completed that dice are going to then be able to score 3 points on the color value here for the cars that they move. Okay, so that's something to keep track of. Keep your players honest. So we rolled a 1 and a 2 here. We're actually going to move this first car here. We'll go ahead and cross that car out. That'll be our first car we move because we're solo playing. So we have to move a car. That's a value 2. The color does not match, so we're going to mark it in. And that car is worth exactly 1 point. Now for my 1, I'm not going to be able to move another car because I can't change the value enough. So I will go ahead and circle, I'll go ahead and mark the green space. No, let's mark the purple space. We'll mark 1 on the purple space. Okay. And so the game proceeds, of course, over 24 rounds or 36 if you're playing the long game. So we'll go ahead and roll some more dice. There we go. We got a nice 6 and a 6. So we'll use one of those 6s to mark in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm now going to add the purple dice to the bag. So purple die goes in the bag. I'll flip my token over, my parking token here. Good for 1 park of purple, aka diamonds. So that's our 6 used. Our other 6, we have to move a car. So we have this car here, this red car. We'll go ahead and mark that out. Since we're not using a dice color, we just gained the purple. And that one's not going to help us do what we need to do. So that is a value 6. Does it match color? It does not. It is worth 1 point. Okay. Put our dice back in the bag. Mix it up. Now we have a purple dice that we have access to. Pretty cool. So we're going to pull our dice. Aha, there's our purple die. So we have a 2 and a 2. So kind of continuing our trend here. So with purple, I could mark out this diamond here, which would then get me closer to filling in another car. I'll either get a hexagon car, a diamond car, or a triangle car, a blue, purple, or yellow. As long as it's, again, has to be a legal move and all that good stuff, right? You can't be cheating the game. So I am going to, in fact, mark that purple. And then for my other 2, I do have to try to move a car. So, actually, we'll do it this way. Here, we'll leave the purple open. We will take the purple. And for only me, I'm playing solo, so it's not relevant, but in multiplayer, it's only for you when you change dice values. So this is now, for me, going to be a 3. We'll mark out this 3 right here, which is a diamond, right? And then that's a value 3. Did it match color? It sure did. And that is purple, and that is worth now 3 points. Okay. So our number 2 here, we can now use the 2 to make a second car move, so we can take out this green car right here. Go ahead and get that out of the way. It's always good to move cars out of the way, especially when you know you have a die of a certain color. So now I have access to this 5, and so I could use that to hopefully get a 5 on the next turn. So I also moved a value 2 car. The color did not match, and it is worth 1 point. So as you can see, I am exactly up to 6 points so far after 3 rounds. Doing a pretty good job. The points here, you're going to get points for completing the wheels. You get 5 points for completing each column. Completing the rows lets you move cars, and here you get 6 points if you fill in the last, the 4th space. You're giving up a dice value to do it versus moving a car. One of the things that I think is notable, with 36 rounds, you can actually empty the parking lot. There are 50 spaces. So that's something that completionists will appreciate. Anyway, thank you so much for checking out our video for Park Deco. This is our new Roll and Write, part of Roll and Write Revolution. We thank you for visiting us, and look forward to seeing you all on Kickstarter and in the comment sections, and even on BGG and GameCrafter, Facebook, all those great places, Twitter. Have a great day, y'all. Park safely.